Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast. We're sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Goebel Septic, and Americool Heating and Cooling. I'm Aaron Van Tile, joined by the Chronicle sports crew, Dylan Wilhelm and Zach Martin. Cody's absent again. We're pretty sure he hates us.
He told me straight up, actually.
He just told you guys? He's like, I don't even look at you guys anymore. I'm moving out. I'm going to go stay at my friend's house.
He's still petty about his office.
Oh, yeah, the office. Well, he's going to share an office with Ridley now. It's not so bad. We also have a special surprise intro just for Dylan.
Fair play.
It sounds like Zach singing it.
No, this is way too majestic to be me.
There's a second there where I was like, is Zach doing the voiceover on this? That's enough of that. Dylan, your thoughts?
I didn't think it could get worse than Tampa a few years back. And it did. At the same time, like, I don't think there's any shame in not winning your third Super Bowl in a row.
And yet, we're here to shame you, you loser.
I do think it's weird,
Oh, the calls didn't go your way this time?
This is a whole different podcast for a whole nother day, but I don't know, like, obviously, like, crapping the bed in the Super Bowl is not good legacy-wise, but I don't understand how crapping the bed in the Super Bowl is worse than crapping the bed 3 rounds or, like, I don't know.
Well, everybody's watching.
I mean, yeah, but like when Joe Montana loses 49-3 in the 80s in the divisional round, nobody cares.
Well, that's because it was a long time ago. We don't remember that.
We remember
your fraudulent quarterback.
The amount of times Dylan texted me throughout the Super Bowl is we get all the calls as a penalty win against Kansas City had me chuckling the entire time.
Well, I'm glad that first one didn't end up mattering because the next drive there was some unnecessary roughness, evened out. All right, fair play, whatever. And then Mahomes, it's all about how Mahomes gets all the calls, and then Jalen Carter like decapitates him on a strip sack, and the narrative suddenly changes. It's not that Pat Mahomes gets all the calls. It's look at Pat Mahomes get his head chopped off. Imagine if that was flipped. Just imagine if that was flipped. Imagine if that was like the last game, the last drive of a tie game.
This is the most passion Dylan's had about a topic in the history of this podcast.
Did that to Jalen Hurts. Oh, my Lord. They would have burned down Goodell's house.
Well, there would have been no expectation that it can't happen to Jalen Hurts like there is with Mahomes because it has never happened. Mahomes was decapitated, and you know what? We as a country were unified once again.
Yeah.
Anyway, congrats to the Philadelphia Eagles on their Super Bowl victory. Dominant fashion.
Yeah.
You're not an Eagles fan, are you, Zach?
No, I'm a depressed, sad Bears fan.
Oh, God, that sucks.
I know, right? It's horrible.
All right, let's get into sports.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be a Browns fan. Could be a Browns fan.
We lost the Super Bowl. Oh,
you guys have both got fraudulent quarterbacks. Wrestling League champions have been decided. Basketball districts are underway. We'll start on the hardwood, and we'll start with the 2Bs, where the girls' semifinals are already set. Quarterfinals occurred last night, and it's a familiar bunch in the girls' Final Four, at least in the first 3 spots. Adna, Napvine, and Rainier are there. Joining them from the C2BL is Forks.
Wrong.
Raymond South Bend. Did I write Forks?
You wrote Forks.
I wrote Forks. Wrong.
It is, in fact,
like
Raymond.
The Chiefs on Sunday. Poor execution on my part.
Still shook it from that Sunday upset. Yeah, Raymond South Bend is in there. The Ravens? Are they the Ravens?
Yes, Ravens,
their combo is? All right. Adna and Rainier beat Tutalik and Morton White Pass, respectively, after first-round byes. Napavine defeated Toledo and Forks to advance. The big one, the Adna Napavine rematch. This is what, Tuesday? Kelso?
Tuesday in Kelso. Yep.
Yeah, who you guys got?
I'll go Adna just because of what we've seen all year. Napavine is playing really good ball right now, though.
Yeah, this is probably the best ball Napavine has played all season. Is that too far-fetched to say?
At least from what I've seen, yeah.
Here's what I'll say. There's no way it's going to be worse than the first meeting when the final was 33-32. I would be very stunned if it's that low scoring and that ugly of a basketball game again. Give me Napavine. I'm going to trust a state championship winning head coach in Shane Schutz.
A couple quick things.
Chris Banish won a state championship.
Did he? Okay.
He was the star quarterback for Willapa Valley when they won a state football title back in 2000.
I love learning more Lewis County lore.
Maybe 2001.
I didn't even know he was a Valley kid.
But has he won? But has Banish won as a coach?
Not a
Can he
championship.
do it
no.
on a dreary night in Spokane in March?
I mean, they do play the games indoors. I'm not sure if you're aware. The element's not a factor.
It's a rainy night in Stokes reference. No, or Stoke. Quick note on shoots. This kind of plays into my next point. Hayden Kaut has just been she's been insane all year. She probably got.
She's been putting up numbers.
She was probably second in MVP.
I think that's safe to say. Yeah.
She had 21 and 18 in that first game, and then last night it was 17, 6 rebounds, and then 6 blocks and 6 steals. She was just all over the floor doing it. And I talked to her and Shoots after, because Cal, I mean, she hit that game winner at the state championship game last year.
People don't forget that, yeah.
She's no stranger to big moments, right? And Shoots is like, yeah, it's contagious when you have someone who's that passionate about the game that wants to win in these big moments. And then talking to Cal, she's like, yeah, Shoots kind of talks to me a little bit before each game, kind of a reminder, hey, we need someone to step into that role. Last year, Hayden said it was Kira O'Neal who did that. She was kind of the emotional. I mean, obviously she was a hell of a player too, but the rah-rah, she's Lewis and Clark State now, one of them. And she's like, yeah, I feel like I could fill that role and I feel like I've done it well. And, when I get going, the whole team gets going. And when the whole team gets going, you see games like it was yesterday where they won, but they were up 40 in the middle of the third on Forks.
Yeah.
They went on a 29-0 run in the middle of that. Couch scoring 6 points in 20 seconds thanks to threes and turnovers.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really good sign that this is kind of picking up after what Shoots said himself. You look at the score lines of those last couple of weeks of the regular season and you just ho-hum Napavine, winning big, no big deal. Shoots himself was like, I don't think we've been playing very well lately. So to start districts off like this, I think is a great sign for them moving forward. Especially now, I mean, assuming they make state, even if they don't beat Adna, they only got to win one of the next.
I think it's safe to say they will make state. Is Adna playing their best ball? Freeman's back healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is she 100%? Or I mean, she had 20. That's
I believe
10 under her average.
There was a 5-second instance last night where I was looking at the box score and I was like, whoa, Freeman only had 2 points. Did something come up again? But it was Cameron Freeman, her younger sister. And then I re-looked and I was like, oh no, she had 20. She's good. So
yeah, they're fine.
Are
they the 6 or the 7:30 game?
They're the 6.
They're the 6. Rainier RSB is a 7:30.
Okay.
And this kind of, I know this has been...
Stadium's going to empty out at halftime of that Rainier game.
Probably, yeah.
And I know this has been mentioned before by coaches, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just kind of the way the bracket draws out where it's better to be the 2 almost. Not almost. It's better to be the 2. You don't win a league title, so you don't get that satisfaction, but Rainier has the better path towards the district title game and only has to face one of Adna or Napavine as long as they get through Raymond, whereas Adna and Napavine have to go through each other and then on the other end still beat Rainier.
Yeah.
Rainier was on that instance last year. They beat Adna, but then fell to Napavine. It's hard to beat 2 of the top 3 teams in not just the league, but 2 of the top 5 teams across the state probably in quick succession. So.
How do you guys think Rainier stacks up against not Forks but Raymond South Bend?
I think they'll
win by.
Cruise.
I think they'll win comfortably.
And for the record, I think they'd beat Forks comfortably too. So I don't.
Yeah,
think
yeah. I think. I mean, Raymond South Bend played pretty well against Ani yesterday. They've got some size, but I just think Bryn Beckman and Askey, Janess Blackburn, they're going to just be. There's a little too much firepower on Rainier that I just don't think RSB is going to be able to match it.
All right. So RSB beat Onalaska in its quarterfinal. The Loggers got to the quarters with a historic defensive effort against Mossy Rock. I love the tagline on that game that was like, oh, historic scoring record at district game. I was like, really? I got to read up on, I see what he did there. It was the lowest. I was actually shocked that was the record. Really? I could swear at some point I've been to a 2B girls district game was 24-18 or something. Maybe it just felt that way.
Was it Nacelle and Raymond, I believe? It was 29-28 combined for 57. I think is what it was.
How long ago was it?
7. That was the record prior to Saturday.
Okay. No, I wouldn't have been at that one, I don't think. But yeah, I was shocked that it was that low. But, they did it. Great defensive work by both teams. And then, Dylan saw that game in Rochester. Any other thoughts on that one?
I mean, Mossy has kind of done this all year where, they're going to win slugfests. I saw that against Toledo earlier in the season too. That one, it wasn't a district game, but it combined for 49. That's just their style. They got to get some. They don't have to be great offensively to win because of how good their defense is, but they have to be good.
Yeah.
And 20 points. I mean, the coach Nick Rashoff he said we were all thinking 20 points just isn't going to win any game, let alone a playoff game.
Yeah.
Even if you have, the best defense in the world out there, like you have to score more than 20. And it just wasn't falling for him.
All right. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in Rainier returning to the district title game? We kind of hit this already, but what, 8, 9?
9, probably.
11.
All right. Zach with his takes.
And he's seen Raymond South Bend too.
All right. So 4 teams, Toledo, Morton White Pass, Onalaska, and Mossy Rock, are still alive, but they would need to win 3 straight to reach the third place game and clinch a state spot. How many to state? 4?
4.
That's all?
Which last year was 5. So this happened with the Toledo boys last year, if I remember correctly, where teams that make the semis get 3 chances.
Yeah.
To
It's kind of like how
softball.
Win. It's kind of like how softball was over the spring.
Yeah, you just have to win 1 of 3. But this year, obviously, without that 5th place game, there's just fewer chances.
Okay.
Especially even for Navavine or Adna, I doubt either one of them is going to lose multiple games in a row, especially if they get bumped to that lower bracket. But it is just something to kind of keep in the back of your head as a possibility.
Yeah. All right. So of those 4, who do you think has the best shot, if any of them?
Mossy Rock.
All right.
I'd go Ani because I think Emily Jacoby, we've talked about how she could take over a game, and in the C2BL and against a lot of P2BL teams, that's going to be enough. Like, it's not going to be enough to beat your Navavines or Anis or Rainiers. It'll have to be a total team effort, and other people would have to step up. But I think if Jacoby can go for 25-30 against the Chief Lesheyes and the Forks
The
of the world.
problem is Ani's on that half where if they get to that winner to state consolation semi on the bracket, they'd play the loser of Napavine Adna in that winner to state game. Where Mossy Rock, they play Tootle Lake in their elimination game. Then they would play the winner of Chief Lesheye Forks, and then you're probably looking at Raymond South Bend in a winner to state game. So I just think the path for Mossy Rock is way easier.
Yeah. All right, the boys' quarterfinals are tonight. Napavine plays Onalaska, and Mossy Rock faces Adna in Castle Rock. While in Rochester, Toledo plays Owako, and Rainier will face Forks. We'll skip predictions because those will probably be over by the time most people hear this. But title game predictions for you guys. Adna Napavine?
Yeah, rematch of last year. I gotta double check. I'm
Wait,
pretty
hold
sure
on.
they're on the they're on the opposite sides of the bracket.
I don't know. Hold on.
I think they are.
They finished 1-2, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they have to be by default. Yeah, that's what it was last year. I think it'll be a lot closer than last year. If I remember correctly, that game wasn't particularly close.
Okay.
Braden Selby was still kind of working back from that foot injury, still kind of battling the lingering stuff. And Napavine last year, too, just didn't really face any trouble until they got to state.
All right. Winlock is the only area team currently in the lower bracket. The Cardinals need to win 3 straight for a state bid. Tough road for them.
They will play the loser of Onalaska Napavine on Valentine's Day in Castle Rock. So if you want to take your sweetheart to watch some 2B basketball,
I have done
in
that
Castle
before.
Rock.
in Castle Rock.
Winlock did play Rainier very closely. I think they only lost by 5 in that first round. Group covered that one for us. And they were up, I want to say, at one point in the second half. Rainier went on a little run, then they kind of clawed back to make it close there in the final stretch. But yeah, I wouldn't count out the Cardinals. Freddie Patching, Landon Clyde, Jason Ruiz.
Here's a potential.
Ooh.
There's some potential. Hold on. I'm just now looking at this bracket. There's potential where Winlock could meet Rainier for the second time this playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Those are always fun.
if Winlock beats the loser of Onalaska Napavine, they would then play the winner of either Raymond South Bend and then whoever loses between Toledo and Owako, probably Owako. And then they would play the loser of the bottom semifinal between what we think could be Adna versus Rainier.
Uh-huh.
And if that's the case, then Rainier and Winlock play for the second time in the span of 13 days
in the
You're
district.
really,
in a winner to state game.
You're really getting into a Charlie Kelly with the board and the strings on everything right here.
I am.
Shout out my mom. This is her favorite part of like sports discussion, especially like specifically towards the end of like the NFL season, for example. It's like,
Who's in the hunt?
What does this team need to get in? Well, they need this team to win and this team to lose and this team. Or if they tie, they have this, and this. And she's like, oh my God, shut up. Like, by then I'll be talking about it and she'll just like, no, like,
Just go away.
If this and if this, we're going to find out. It's part of the fun, though.
This podcast brought to you by Goebel Septic Service. Changing it up today. I'm visiting their website, Goebel Septic.com. Yeah, new ad.
Oh,
Your trusted resource for all things
Just in
septic.
time for the playoffs.
Just in time for the playoffs. From septic maintenance and inspections to portable toilet and sink rentals. They're a family-owned and operated company since 1979, serving Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Calais, Grays Harbor counties. Their customer satisfaction has been the key to their successful relationship with the local and regional communities. Give Goebel a call at 360-809-6944 or again, visit their website, goebelseptic.com.
what are some reviews on goebelseptic.com?
I don't know. What do you want from me?
Well, you always are
Schwartz
able to
always
find a
reads
review.
reviews.
You read reviews.
Very rarely.
You read them from eBurger all the time.
That's the same one Schwartz always reads.
I wonder what eBurger thinks of Goebel Septic.
Big fan. We'll do a quick check-in with the 1A girls. Tonight I played a pigtail game that wasn't listed on the bracket for some reason against Castle Rock.
Thanks, 1A.
Dylan watched the Beavers play, but they ultimately lost 50-48. Dylan, what stood out to you?
I'm really glad that Snyder coach Kirsty Gofinch told me this game was happening. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been there at all because, again, why is it not on the bracket? Anyways. Yeah. But anyways, the Beavers played pretty well. It was pretty back and forth the whole time. Neither team could have led by more than 7 at any given point. And when Castle Rock went up 7 with about 5 to play, Tenino scored 4 or 5 straight and got back within a possession. It is going to be one of those games that I think haunts them for a while. Not in the sense that like they were like clearly the better team and they just had a bad day, but in the sense that like the plays were there to be made. So about 7 seconds, 7.2, whatever it was, 7 and change. Castle Rock gets a bucket to go up 49-48. Gofinch calls a timeout. You got to go the length of the floor. You drop one play for 7 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
They can't even get past midcourt. They turn the ball over. 2 seconds left by the time a Castle Rock player gets possession. Another second runs off before Snyder can foul again. Free throw. Hits 1 of 2. And then there's a quick inbound, which I don't know if Gofinch necessarily wanted, but it did allow, by the time she got the timeout off, there was like, I think they put 1 second back on the clock. And instead of inbounding from the far baseline, they actually got to inbound it pretty close to the half court line. And that actually ended up being, more obviously it's a shorter pass and there's a quicker way to do things and with such limited time. And I don't remember exactly who inbounded the ball, but it was a nice kind of arched pass to like the wing. And I honestly couldn't really tell who was supposed to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Just bounced off the hand, bounced off the leg, rolls out of bounds as time expires. And it would have been a tough shot, had that player been able to grab it, quickly spin, and get it over the hand of an outstretched defender. It would have been a great shot. But I'm sure it's one that, as an athlete, you feel like you can make. And Gofinch kind of said that after, too. She's like, there's still games that haunt me, she said, from high school. And I'm sure a lot of athletes feel that way. I think that'll be one that sticks with them for a while. Especially the younger girls, not just for how they feel, but like the seniors going out that way. It's a tough way to go.
Yeah.
Right. Again, they're not like district title favorites, and they didn't get bounced early by, some scrappy underdogs necessarily. It's just one of those close games where you look back and you're like, there's like 6 different points where like if that one play could have gone a little different. Obviously, but ifs are ifs. Gofinch did credit her seniors, Holly Thorin, Brianna AC, I believe, and Bryn Williams. I want to make sure I have that right. But basically she was saying it's kind of bittersweet for those seniors because they haven't been great the last couple of years as a team, the Beavers.
Yeah.
Right. So Gofinch was kind of saying to me, it's like, yeah, well, the seniors are like, dang, we're getting like good now. We're making the playoffs and we're going to leave. And that kind of sucks. But also there's still that part of it where it's like you set the foundation.
Yeah.
Like you're still a part of it, even if you graduate and move on, to do different things. Okay, Bryn Williams, Brianna AC, and Holly Thorne. I think I did have that right. I just want to make sure. But yeah, they're still, the foundation setters in this, Gofinch's first year. And also Gofinch coached them when they were in 7th grade for a year. So it's just kind of a full circle moment for her. And, obviously they wanted to get a little further, but
yeah. All right.
that's the way the ball bounces, literally.
And then on the boys' side, Tenino is still alive, the last local 1A team playing. They play La Center at home on Thursday. And the 1B district tournament gets underway tomorrow. That's Thursday night. A PL, undefeated PL?
Undefeated
Front
PL.
runner PL?
Number 1 PL.
Number 1 ranked PL?
Well, I don't know if they're one in the
they're
RPI.
not.
They're the one in the
They're number 1 in our
Coastal
hearts.
or whatever leagues. Columbia Valley.
Fresh RPIs did come out today.
Oh, yeah?
we gotta
Fire
talk
those
about
bad boys up while I
well.
read through these notes. On the girls' side, PL will host Merriam Knight on Thursday. Surely they will win that. Oakville will head to Willapa Valley. That's fun.
I think there was a chance. That might be the boys' side. Which side was it that it's possible to have a PL Oakville semi?
Girls' side.
Oh, the girls' side? Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
PL number 7 in RPI.
RPI doesn't know ball.
Oh, it
People are
doesn't.
talking.
Nia Bay number 1.
Okay, yeah, they're usually good. Is
all right, that
PL,
makes sense.
would you say PL is the favorite to win their first district title since 2013? I would.
I would as well.
I would say yes.
PL is below. Every team above PL has at least 1 loss, and 2 teams have 3 losses.
Well, all right.
And the 2 teams directly below them at 8 and 9 have 4 losses each. Obviously, RPI is a mathematical equation, so I'm not,
It's biased.
I'm not here to judge the committee.
RPA
but,
is biased. Our RPI is biased against the PL Trojans.
The Oakville boys will also be going to Valley tonight, and the PL boys will be at Ocosta. How do you any hot takes on either of those two going into districts? PL boys got some promise.
PL,
PL boys can make a run.
they I think PL could maybe spring an upset on Acosta.
All right. This podcast brought to you by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery. I'm going to open the link and see what kind of sick deals they've got.
I don't know. Last week it was like what, $975 or $950?
Oh,
off?
the savings are up to $925 on the Serta iComfort Pro mattress
man.
with adjustable base sets. That was the sound of Zach patting his feet out the door, sprinting
That
to
was the
Elam's
sound
Home
of
Furnishings.
Cody pounding on the door, being like, "No, I missed it. I need to hear these deals."
I need a mattress.
We're gonna bleep this out, but only on for Cody somehow. No.
Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center, locally owned, family owned, here to stay. You can check out their showroom with all your furniture needs at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia, or check them out online, elamshf.com. On the 2A side, it's pigtail season. Dylan is heading to WF West Hawkinson tonight on the boys' side, and Zach is heading to Tumwater RA Long girls.
That start in approximately 21 minutes.
Are they starting at 6?
Yeah, we'll be
better
getting
hurry
out here
up.
pretty quickly. There are 2 pigtails on both for some reason this year, so
All right.
shout out gate revenue for schools.
Just going to be raking in those bucks. Yeah, I can't remember having 2 pigtails before.
That was a discussion at the 2Bs. It's like, man, who would be opposed to limiting some of these teams? And I was like, Rochester, because they'd have fewer games per game.
Yeah.
Rochester objects.
Before we get out of basketball, do you guys want to talk about the C2BL All-League teams?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the girls' side, I believe we predicted this. Carson Freeman won her 2nd straight C2BL MVP, as I've always said. Tough to unseat an incumbent. And they were, let's see, first team Hayden Count Napavine, which I believe we called Emily Jacoby on Alaska. I think we called that. Danica Hallam, I called that. And then Angelica Askey and Brooklyn Swenson from Rainier. I think we were pretty close on that one.
There's any surprises there?
Good work. Good work for us. Congratulations.
ball.
Congratulations to the players, too. And then on the boys' side, Carson Denault from Napavine was the MVP. I believe we all had that. First team, Cooper Fallon, Toledo. I think we were in on that.
Yeah.
Judah Kelly, Morton White Pass. We mentioned that. He had a good shot. Trevin Salmi from Adna. And did I throw that one out there? I thought I threw that one in there.
Yeah, I
believe so.
We mentioned either him or
Gavin Muller, I believe.
Gavin
Muller
Muller.
or-
Muller got second team.
Yeah.
What was the other
I
Adna?
think it was just a matter of which Adna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a third Adna kid we mentioned.
Was it
Chronicle. Yeah,
I know he missed a couple games in the middle of the year. I don't know if that had anything to do with. I wasn't in the coaches meeting. But.
And then from Rainier, Jake Meldrum and Peyton Schaefer were on the first team. That's about, close. Second team, Landon Klein, Winlock, Cal Bullock, Napavine, Muller from Adna, Humphrey from Adna, Blaze Underhill, Onalaska, Hudson Chambers, Napavine, and Adam Kruger from Toledo. Congratulations to all. Okay. What's our next ad? Americool Heating and Air Conditioning. If you are too hot or too cold, visit our friends at Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, west.americoolonline.com. Your comfort is their business. They provide full service HVAC installation services and repair with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do. You can call them for emergency service or maybe just to talk. 360-996-5806.
drove past an Americool heating and cooling truck on my way into work.
Was the driver hot or was he cool?
He looked pretty cool.
Nice.
I bet he was comfortable either way, though.
Yeah.
They have 24-hour. They advertise on their truck 24-hour service.
Did you call him just to talk?
Yeah. I'm not going to, but you can.
Local
I don't
wrestling
do anything but
tournaments.
Go to therapy.
We're also this last weekend. Zach was at the EPCO Championships in Black Hills. How was that?
Very fun. They had the spotlight for the finals.
That's always fun.
Yeah, not great always for photographers. They're not a fan of the single spotlight because it screws with the lighting. But it was a good showing. WFS won the team title. They had the most individual champs. Black Hills ended up with 3 league champs. Tumwater had 1. Centralia had 1. It was a good showing by the 2As. There will be. I'll have to double check on the math, but I believe we're going to have around 40 2A boys wrestlers at Matt Classic.
That's quite a few
in 2 weeks. So
okay. All right. Well, we've got some of them could get knocked out of regionals. Could happen.
There's no regionals.
There's no regionals.
There's no regional. What do they?
This just league. Then the 2As had crossovers yesterday. So the EVCO 3 wrestled the GSHL 5. The EVCO 4 wrestled the GSHL 4.
I thought they did like regionals or something.
That got
have
eliminated
been.
this
And
year.
there was I wanted to make sure I wasn't saying anything incorrectly. They did get rid of regionals, so I found an article from the Kitsap Sun, and there was a couple coaches in there. I kind of just skimmed it real quick before I came up. That was one coach from up north said regionals is where the men are separated from the boys, and it was followed up with a quote from another coach that said there's going to be a lot of kids at state that shouldn't be there. That's the coach's words, not mine, because they would have gotten weeded out in regionals.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's all part of making Matt Classic bigger and more spread out, I believe.
I
It's
think
3
it'll
days this
be
year
each weight
instead,
class
too.
will be a 32 person bracket for boys and girls, I believe. So it's going to be a full 2 days of wrestling.
They've given out 2 first place trophies now too.
I mean, they might as well at this rate.
I don't know. A 3-day tournament sounds kind of cool.
I don't think any of our kids have 3-day tournaments, so I think 3 and 4As are the 3As.
Yeah.
Or the 3
okay.
days. But yeah. Anyhow.
All right. C2BL championships were also last week, and yesterday were the 2A district crossovers. Any other notes on those?
Peyton Hernandez for Napavine wrestled really well. Xander Peck won for Rainier. Benito Escalera for Onalaska. He could be a sneaky, sneaky contender for a semifinal or a final spot, maybe at 120. There's some good wrestlers in the 2B. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of those guys at Matt Classic.
All right, Matt Classic is February 20th to 22nd at the Tacoma Dome. That's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Who's going? Zach?
Mm-hmm. With a stable of freelance photographers that will be helping us out.
And you'll just be focusing on stories.
Correct.
Good. Hell yeah. Get us some copy. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh,
so in
shout
the
out
Super Bowl.
Shout out to WFS Bowling. Speaking of bowls.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
WFS Bowling, 4th as a team at State Bowling. Rochester finished 7th. Hoyt Seiler medaled again. Savannah Hoyt Seiler, she got 3rd last year. She got 8th this year. And
All right.
I forgot to put that in the notes. And yeah, it's your Super Bowl. Oh well.
All right. Where can people follow you on social media if they so desire, or maybe just want to hear more of your thoughts on life in general?
DM Wilhelm 225, and my last comments will be, there was a tweet that someone wrote that this was when it was like 34-0. That was like, if you're a Chiefs fan, why are you still watching this? And I retweeted a radio host in Kansas City that was like, I watched Brody Croyle go 0-10. Why would I turn the Super Bowl off? So things could be worse. They have been.
You can follow me on Twitter at Zach_Mart95, and one day I will witness a Chicago Bears Super Bowl win behind Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson.
Sure, you're going to be standing behind them in the bread line, or what?
Jesus Christ!
What? I guess we can wrap up there. Just a preview. At some point this summer, once everything is calmed down, we will do the live on-air soup exchange we were talking about off mic.
Hell yeah!
Everybody will bring their own soup. We will divvy them up. Just eat soup. Maybe we'll get Cody in here. Maybe that'll be
like
Cody's
Ridley
last
and
episode.
Schwartz and Jake. We could get everyone up here, and we could have like judges and stuff. That'd be
like
fun.
a live soup off podcast.
Yeah. Ooh, hell yeah! I'm down with
Kick
that.
your guys' ass.
Okay, wow.
Probably.
Jesus.
All right.
Sneak in
Thanks for
some
listening.
Costco soup and say it's homemade.